Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Una from Bella Retreats, and I am coming to you today with my retreat leader interview series. Today, I have a dear friend and colleague, Muriel Murphy. She's an advanced body worker, yoga teacher trainer, and retreat leader. She resides in California, but we actually know each other from Costa Rica, Nosara. Welcome, Muriel. How are you today? Can you just introduce yourself a little bit to our community today?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Una. It's really nice of you to have me on this. And I just wanted to jump at the chance because it sounded so interesting. And I think it's a great subject for people that are wanting to learn how to lead retreats and just be in that world. And we lived in that world down in Nosara together and trained with the same teachers. So it's just really good to reconnect with you, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm really excited for this.
Yay, welcome. Yeah, I just want to say we did both train in Nosara at the Nosara Yoga Institute. We have the same teacher trainers, and I think anyone who's been to Nosara or trained at Nosara Yoga Institute has a very special place in their heart for that place and for our teachers, Don and Amba, and the community in that area. So that's a really fun connection.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a very special time in our lives.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about what it is that you do and what it is you get up to in the world.
So as far as like what I do daily, as far for my career, I do advanced body work. And within that, people lay on a table to receive a massage, but it's kind of more than a massage. Integrate I integrate a little bit of talking with them about what's going on with them, and I will weave in, sometimes there's emotional components to chronic pain, um and then of course just injury recovery. And I recently got a new device called the microcurrent therapy device, which has been really helping my clients a lot. And so that's kind of my daily. And then I teach 2 yoga classes a week at a beautiful studio here in San Rafael, California. And I was doing teacher training programs before the pandemic hit, and then when that hit, we everything kind of came to a halt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved doing those trainings in Bali and Costa Rica, and I think
Mm.
I did one in Greece as well. And so yeah, so that's what I'm up to in the world. And hiking a lot, getting out in nature, just trying to stay in the natural flow of life and not too much technology, hopefully.
Yes.
And but we have to live with technology now, so we adapt.
It's a tool. It's a lovely tool. And
Mhm.
yeah, I love the nature aspect. We really need it as we're going to get more and more technology coming in the coming years for sure. So when did you get your yoga training in the Sara?
I did my training in 2003, January 2003. So I just had my 20-year anniversary as a yoga teacher.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I love teaching yoga. I taught a class this morning, and it still just brings me as much joy as like the first time I taught a class at the
Mm.
Institute. Yeah.
It's a very, very special modality. And yeah, to have been initiated as a teacher with Don and Amba, the dear teachers of ours, was really a special gift and lineage to go through them. So how did you get into teacher training and retreats after your training?
So after my training, I decided I was going to move down to Nosara, and I moved down there in 2007, 8. And I was there for 5 months, and they were like, come teach with us. And then the next thing I knew, they were like, come assist us for our teacher training programs, and you can be the staff manager. And so basically, I was being trained by them to help them with their teacher training programs, and I was learning how to run teacher training programs. And then another school came to Nosara to the Blue Spirit Retreat Center, and they said, would you like to come and teach with our school? And I said, sure, that sounds great. And so then after a few trainings with them, they're like, we want to take you to Bali with us, and we want you to be one of our lead faculty teachers. And that was called the Awakened Life School of Yoga. And I had a great run with them for 6 years. And then the pandemic hit. And so
Yeah, that
yeah.
pandemic thing. So when did you begin to weave retreats in?
I did my first retreat in 2010
Mm-hmm.
in Nosara. And it was so funny because I didn't really have a venue to do it out of. So I did it out of my front porch of my casita that I was renting.
Are you kidding?
Because my front porch was big, and it was like enough to be a yoga studio. So we did
Right.
all of our yoga there, and then we ate all of our meals at various restaurants in the town. And yeah, and my retreat guests stayed in the Cafe de Paris, those little the more high-end suites that they had.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we just had a great time. And then the next year I rented a place called Villa, oh gosh, now I can't remember what it was called, but it was a cute little like almost like a bed and breakfast that had a yoga shala, and it was in the K section down south in Guiones, South Guiones.
Yeah.
And so that was my second retreat. And then my third retreat, then where did I go? I think by that time it was the Bodhi tree was opening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm
it must
trying,
have
I'm
been.
trying to recall.
So that's okay. We're going to come back to the Bodhi tree,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I want to go back to that first retreat because I think that's amazing that you just had a retreat on your front porch, you found accommodation, and you went out to dinner. And
Yeah.
how was that? How was that retreat for
We
everyone?
had the best week of our lives. And, you know, then I was like asking Sai if she can draw a labyrinth for my retreat. So then I started doing the labyrinth within every retreat experience because it was just so moving. And so it's such a great ceremony, you know?
Mm.
And yeah, we just had a great week together. And it was a mom and her two daughters, and the mom had just gotten over cancer, so it was just this really epic trip for those three, and there was only 3 people.
Mm.
I had another person signed up, but she didn't come along. I think I
Wow.
actually did another retreat there too, or I might have done my next retreat at the yoga house or something. Yeah.
And what did you love about retreats from that first time? You had a small group, you kind of, put it together the first time. What do you love about retreats?
Well, I love that, you come in and you don't know each other, right? And you kind of set a container that's safe, and you make sure that everybody knows that what is said during the retreat stays within the retreat container. And we have a lot of respect for each other, and we give each other audience, and we invite people to share from their heart. And yeah, and just holding that circle, is one of my most favorite sacred times during the retreat, is just holding that circle. And then there's just this beginning, and then there's the middle part, and then there's the ending. And it's all really special. And I got to learn a lot about myself. Like, was I good at the beginning? Was I better in the middle? Or was I better at the end? And I realized I didn't really want the ending is hard for me. And so yeah, so the whole experience is really, and then it would evolve and change and shift. And then I would go and take retreats with other retreat leaders, and I would just be absorbing more information and learning more about myself, and then bringing that to the next retreat experience. So I learned a lot living
Mm.
in like a retreat land like that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I definitely see the retreat very similarly, that opening circle, that closing circle, and then this magic that comes in the middle. And it really does. And there really is something magical that happens, but it comes from the retreat leader creating that safe container and having that intention for transformation, which it sounds like you have that, innately, and you made that a really big priority for you. And then I love the fact that, you're an eternal student in retreats as well, because it is how we learn and grow, isn't it? When we immerse ourselves in the experience that we want to offer for others. So that aspect of you being willing to learn and to grow and to make it better every year, I'm sure reflects immensely on the retreat that you lead today. Is probably a very powerful experience. Um, so yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? You have a retreat coming up. I'd love to hear a little bit more like about that and what the theme is and what you get up to during that week.
Yeah. So, it was interesting because I wanted to do women's retreats because I had already been holding women's sacred circle for the new moon every month for years and years and years. And so I'm like, I'm going to turn this into a retreat, and then it'll be a week-long circle. And so the last retreat that I just had at the Bodhi tree in February, I don't I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say, but it just felt like it was like such good chemistry. It was one of the best retreat experiences I had. We all bonded so deeply and got so close with one another. And it just really it cracked me wide open. It was really beautiful.
Mm.
And yeah. And it actually made me want to open my retreat to men.
Mm.
So that is my next endeavor, is that I really want to open up my retreat to men, because I have men students that come to my classes and they ask me, how come I can't come to your retreat? And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just women. And then I said, well, maybe next year I'll open it to men. So I've got a couple of men that want to come, and it's just so we'll see what the next evolution is. And I'm really excited to hold that space and do that. So
Mm.
yeah.
Beautiful. I love that you created that container with women and now you want to open it up. What is the main theme of this upcoming retreat? What is it that you guys do or teach about?
So it's called Cultivation,
Mm.
and we do some journaling about what we want to cultivate for ourselves. We also do a little bit of earth ceremony where we'll take a sacred object and we'll plant it in the earth at the beginning of the retreat. I don't want to give it all away. I don't want to be like a
No,
spoiler.
no, no, don't give it all away,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. But so, yeah, so it has all these different special qualities. And I'm a big believer that, we have all the elements in us. We have earth, like our bones are our earth element, and then we have water. So all of our bodily fluids are the water element, and our tears, and then air is like, our spirit, and then our fire is like our passion, like what do we want to go after. And so I tend to teach classes that evoke these elemental experiences for people. And
Beautiful.
yeah, and I also offer yoga nidra within.
Mm.
It's like a restorative yoga nidra in the afternoon. So we kind of fire up in the mornings, and then we kind of mellow out in the afternoons, and then we have dinner together and laugh, and like we'll be going into some really deep process, and then we'll be like, okay, it's time to eat, let's go. And then sharing food is also a big part of it. So yeah, it's just the whole thing just feels like good medicine.
I love that story. That really is the thing about retreats, isn't it? Because you are spending a whole week with people, you're basically living together in the jungle in another country. And so yeah, it does have to take on many different energies. You're like fire up in the morning, relax in the evening, and then have fun around the dinner table and get to know each other and enjoy and chat and laugh. And this is life, right? We can't all just be monks all the time. It's like
Right.
we
I
do
mean,
our
we would like,
practices, and
yeah.
we
And we would
enjoy
like
our.
get dressed up for dinners, and we'd be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of pretty dress. And we'd go out for dinner one night. And so yeah, it just has like I don't know, it's like a big long dinner party almost. But with a lot of good personal development work in there. And that's why I named it cultivation, because it's like everything that I've cultivated for myself through my years of work, with the personal development component. And yeah. And so what I'm cultivating for myself is more of what I want people to I just want to be an example of what's possible for people, you
Mhm.
know, really be able to go deep with them, and hold that special sacred space for them to feel comfortable to go deep.
I love
Yeah.
that. I really feel your energy and care around that intention and your ability to hold that space. So I could really see this being a great opportunity for someone who, wants to dive into an immersive experience and do some deep inner work, but also enjoy themselves in Costa Rica. The Bodhi tree is a phenomenal location to have a retreat. There's waterfalls and pools and monkeys and papayas, and just a short walk from the Guiones beach, which I've been all over Costa Rica, and I hands down still feel like that beach is my favorite beach. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very special place to be, Nosara in general. And then Bodhi Tree, of course, is this absolutely pristine yoga retreat center. And some of the meeting rooms are just phenomenal. You get to be in this indoor, outdoor jungle studios, and yoga nidra in a jungle studio takes it kind of to a whole nother level of relaxation.
Yeah. And now they have the new ocean view shala called Oceana.
Yeah.
And so you can be in a meditation watching the sunset into the ocean. And that's one of the highlights of the trip, is that we go up there and we do that sunset meditation while the sun is setting. And it just has a very powerful, all of the rooms are really powerful and wonderful, but that
Beautiful.
experience was kind of the top of my list. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very special spot to watch the sunset. I'm a sunset chaser, and that's definitely up there. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit, the name, date of your retreat, and your website where people can go if they want to learn more about
So
this,
it's
about
called
you.
Cultivation Retreat. It's for both men and women.
Mm.
And it is on March 23rd through the 30th of 2024. And yeah, so that's the next one. It's a week-long retreat. We arrive on a Saturday. We kind of have a soft landing. We have
Mhm.
a nice dinner, and then the next day we get after 2 practices a day on starting on Sunday morning. And we usually start around 10:30, so people have the mornings to go to the beach and take in the beach, because that's the best time to go to the beach. And then we start our practice around 10:30, and then we break for lunch, and then we go back in for a little relaxation in the afternoons.
I love
So it's just a really like easy day and fun day. And then we have one excursion day where everybody can pick what excursion they want to do that day. And I'm going to do maybe, I'm going to do something a little bit different next year. So we'll see.
it.
We'll see what
Ooh,
happens, because now
fun.
Nosara offers a lot of different things. Like they can take you out on a boat. Um, which I think that might be a really nice experience to go out on a boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun. So where would people go to find you and this?
So my website is www.theintegrativehealingarts.com. And yeah, so you can read all about me, and you'll see pictures of the Bodhi tree on that site. Just click on workshops and retreats, and all the pricing is right there. And there's lots of different rooms to choose from. You can share a room, you can have a private room. Um, yeah, you can have an ocean view room up high. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Gorgeous. Well, we'll definitely drop, the links here under this interview. So if people are interested, they can, follow up with you about that. Is there any
yes.
sort of last words you want to share about retreats or retreat leading or yoga or any of this with the people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. I had I had a man ask me, he goes, "What are you retreating from?" When I got back from the retreat. And I said, "I'm not really retreating from anything. I'm more retreating into." And hopefully that's the experience, is that we get to retreat into more of like how to nurture ourselves and how to be really good to ourselves. And yeah, so I think that retreats are really necessary, and it's a reset. It's a reset for the nervous system, and um, it's very nourishing to be by the ocean every single day. It really does something to the soul. So come and join me. It's going to be a really fun retreat this year with men and women.
Yay, men and women. It's so important though, isn't it? I mean, look, the world that we live in, the default world is something it's called at times, and it's fast and it's busy and there's a lot to do and there's a lot on and there's a lot of pressure and there's, you know, modern day society is not what people would call easy.
Wow.
And I love when we do get to go on retreat and get into this nourishing container. I remember a lot of my, people who work really hard. They're in corporate, they own businesses, they have families, they really have a lot going on in their day-to-day lives. And they get on retreat and they love it. They say, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do next. And,
Yeah, like what
they
time
don't
do
have
I
to
have to
think.
be there?
It's yoga and beach and yoga and eating. And there's something so simple. When we just boil it down to those basics, and then what happens in that spaciousness and that intention is really, yeah, it's not, you kind of are retreating away from the modern society, but you're right, it's really more important about what you get to retreat into, yourself and that experience. So I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
much
I
for
really
sharing.
I'm a big advocate for relaxation because of modern society has us, on. So our sympathetic nervous system doesn't really let down very often. And so just that opportunity to really go in and relax and even fall asleep during one of the restorative classes. People, they go places. Yeah, so that's
Yes.
that's what I like to make sure people know they're going to get that.
Yeah, I feel that you have such a nurturing, calm energy. So thank you
Mm,
for bringing
thank
that medicine to the world, and thanks for showing up here today and
you
having
so
a
much.
chat. And it's lovely to talk with you. So,
It's really great to reconnect with you, and I so appreciate the outreach and what you're doing. Like what you're offering is really amazing. So
thank you. My pleasure. I love retreats for this very reason, the transformational properties that it allows us to, yeah, dive into something other than the noise in the world. So, yeah. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Good to see
yes,
you
of
as
course. It's
always.
good to see you, Una.
All right. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Ciao.